भवति।
आम गुरुवर्य, सुप्रभातं गुरुवर्य, सुप्रभातं सर्वेभ्यः। गुरुवर्य, मेरे को थोड़ा थ्रोट पेन और छाला है, तो थोड़ा उच्चारण में जरा कहाँ मैं रुकेगी तो मुझे माफ करना।
नहीं, आप आराम से बोलिए।
हाँ, मैं थोड़ा डिफरेंट टॉपिक लिया है, थोड़ा भक्ति के साथ संत ऑफ महाराष्ट्र और वारकरी संप्रदाय। तिलोत्तमा भगनी ने बताया था, पर उस पर मैं डिफरेंट कुछ बताने वाली है, तो अभी मैं शुरू करती है। भक्ति मीन्स अटैचमेंट, पार्टिसिपेशन, fondness for, homage, faith, love, devotion, worship, purity. It was originally used in Hinduism, referring to devotion and love for a personal god or a representational god by a devotee. प्रेम सदा बरियो करे, जियो शशि कला सुबेश, पै पूनो या मैं नहीं, ताते कबहू न शेष. Love constantly grows like the waxing moon. Only there is no full moon here, hence it never reaches the point where it may be said to be full. छिन्न ही चढ़े छिन्न उतरे सो तो प्रेम न होए, अगट प्रेम पिंजर बसाई, प्रेम कहावे सो. Kabir says, love swells up and the next moment ebbs low is not love. That alone which is firmly rooted in the heart and knows no ebbing should be given the name of love. Krishna addressing Uddhava says, Na tatha me priyatam atmayo nirna shankaraha na cha sankarshano na shrir naivatma cha yatha bhavan. श्रीमद् भागवत में दिया है, ओ उद्धवा, neither Brahma, nor Shiva, nor Balarama, nor again Lakshmi, not even my own soul, is so dear to me as are devotees like you and gopis. True bhakti or devotion is that condition of a devotee's mind when it is unable to bear even a moment of separation from the shelter of God. And when, even if it is forcefully withdrawn from that shelter by force of circumstances, it struggles and rushes back and attaches itself to God like a needle to a magnet. This version of the bhakti occurs in Shivananda Lahari, and it is Sankara Bhagwan Para has explained what real bhakti is. The relationship between the devotee and Ishvara is explained with reference to 5 examples. They are tree known as Ankolam and its seeds, the lodestone and needle, a charwoman and her husband, a creeper and a tree, and a river and ocean. Ankola tree is found in Azichi Maram in Tamil, is found in the forest. It is that when its fruit falls to the ground, the seeds liberated from the fruit by some compelling force within move close to the trunk of the tree, gradually climb up and get inseparable attached to tree. Why is it important? The word bhaktya, meaning through devotion, shows that bhakti is the means for the realization of the truth of God's nature. Advaita, Visishta Advaita, and Dvaita are one. They emphasize on bhakti to obtain God's grace. Sesa Mahesa Ganesa Dinesa, Suresa Ujahi Nirantar Dyavai, Jahi Anadi Ananta Khanda, Acheda Abeda Subeda Patavai, Narda se Sukavyasa Ratai, Pachi Hare to Punipar na Pave, ताही अहर की छोड़िया छछिया बर छाछ पे नाच नचावे. Sesa is serpent god, Mahesha, Shiva, Ganesha, sun god, and Indra, the lord of paradise, on whom all these gods constantly meditate when the Vedas describe the eternal, infinite, partless, invisible, and differenceless, whose name and glories are sung by rishis like Narada, Sukadeva, and Vyasa. But even they cannot exalt them and themselves exhausted. Him means the Krishna. The cowherd girls get to dance before them over a cup of buttermilk. प्रेम हरि को रूप है क्यों हरि प्रेम स्वरूप एक है द्वय में लैसे जो सूरज और धूप. Love is the essence of God, and the God is embodiment of love. Though one is the same, they appear as two, like the sun and sunshine. The following is an anecdote connected with the gopis who saw Krishna permeating the whole universe. One of these gopis asked another in the course of their talks about Krishna, in which they remain engaged all the 24 hours. Now listen to this carefully. Sister, here is a puzzle for me. The blessed Nanda has bought fair complexion. Queen Yashoda is fair. Even Balrama is fair too. All the family members are fair. Is it not strange that Shyam Sundara, our own, alone has been dark complexion? Hearing this, the other gopi, who hailed Krishna everywhere, replied, Sister, what a shame. Don't you know even this? He stays days and night in our eyes, painted black by collyrium. Oh friend, it is due to this that body of our dearest Krishna is dark in color. What a sentiment of this deep spiritual significance. In the painted eyes of gopis resided Sri Krishna alone and nothing else. There should be our bhakti. Going again and again, the sacred feet of these gopis who are submerged and lost in divine love of Krishna. See what Lord himself says, O Arjuna, the gopis take care of their bodies simply because they regard them as instrument of service to me. Besides the gopis, there are none who is the object of my secret and profound love. Nijangamapi Yagopyo Mameti Samupasate Tabhya Param Name Partha Higuda Prema Bhajanam. Sometimes I feel we must be gopis and gopalas in that era. That's the reason we are attached to and chanting Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Thanks to our Guru Varya, who must be Uddhav in that era, who is bringing our attachment and love for Krishna and maybe our Purva Janma Fal. Now I will move to Sons of Maharashtra. Now well-known Bhakti Sons of Maharashtra are Jnaneshwar, Namdev, Eknath and Tukaram. But there are so many like Sakhubai, family of Chokha Mela, Sant Gora Kumbha, Sant Ruidas, Sant Samartha Ramdas, Sant Narhari Sonar, and Chokha Mela. They worship Lord Vitthal, an avatar of Lord Vishnu, lived an ordinary life and rejected the idea of renunciation. It was carried on by sons coming from various strata of the society. People of all strata society were part of the Sant tradition. Jnaneshwar Vithalpant Kulkarni. He was born in 1275 CE, Yadav dynasty, which is presently known as Paithan Taluka. The last sant was Devasahayam Pillai, who embraced Christianity in the 18th century on Sunday, became the first Indian layman to be declared a son by a Pope Francis, who used the impressive canonization ceremony there to renew his appeal to world leaders that they may be protagonists of peace and of not a war. I will talk something about Sena Navi Sant. He was a pious barber who worshipped Vishnu. Vishnu is a form of Krishna avatar. He worked daily in the morning. He was born in a low class due to sins in a previous birth. Now I'm telling this story to know that how because of him, a Muslim king became follower of Krishna. Now Sena is a Hindu sun poem of Varkari section dedicated to the god of Vithoba. Details of Bhagat Sena from a painting of gathering of body mean of different faith by Mir Kalam Khan. Now there are two more. I will just say Kanthopata, 15th century Marathi son, poet of Hindu Varkari section. The Narhari Sonar, 13th century Hindu poet sant of Varkari section. Now I'll tell about Sena, the barber, a low cost, worked in the service of the king. Bandhavagat, he gave his profession, created devotional abhangs in presence of God Vithoba. Vithoba, patronage god of Sena Navi. Navi is actually name given as a barber. Barber is known as Navi in Maharashtra. The Bhakta Vijaya of Mahapati, a hagiographic work on Hindu sons, devotes a chapter to the life of Sena Navi. It narrates how Vithoba came to the aid of Sena Navi. Sena Navi was a pious barber. He worshipped Vithal daily in the morning. He was born into a low caste due to his sins in a previous birth. Once the king of Bandhavagar called Sena to his service, the court official came with a message to Sena's house. However, Sena was busy at his daily worship and instructed his wife to inform the messenger that he was not at home. This was repeated 5 times. The neighbor reported to the king Sena he was at home worshipping, which infuriated king. He ordered Sena to be arrested, not coming to the palace, despite royal orders, and that he wanted to be bound in chains and be thrown into the river. Vithoba Krishna went to the palace in the form of Sena to serve the king. While Sena massaged king's head with oil, the king saw the reflection of four-armed Krishna in a cup of oil. But when he looked behind, he saw Sena. The perplexed king fainted. When he woke up, he requested Sena to wait on peril of death. However, Sena asked the permission to go to his home once. The king rewarded Sena with a bag of gold coins, which Sena placed in his bag of equipment. The Vithoba left the bag back at Sena's house and disappeared. The king lost all his senses and pined for Sena. The court official hurriedly came to face Sena, who failed. The king had called him as he was very angry with Sena. Sena arrived at the court when the king stood up and greeted him. The king rushed towards Sena, caught Sena's feet, and requested him to show his four-armed form. Sena was shocked. The king brought the bowl of oil and looked at the reflection of Sena in the oil and could see the four-armed divine form that he had experienced earlier. The surprised Sena explained to the king that he had seen Sena's patronage god Krishna himself. The king thanked Sena as he had seen Krishna due to association with Sena. When Sena found the gold coin in his bag of equipment, he distributed the coins to the Brahmin. The tale of this story is that the Muslim king turned into a devotion of Krishna, and Sena Navi was pleased, and his Lord Vishnu was pleased. Now I'll tell something about Varkari Sampradaya. Lotma Padni has already told. The Varkari means one who performs the Vari. That is the pilgrimage movement, was founded by great sons of Maharashtra, namely Jnaneshwar, then Tukaram, Eknath, who belong to different castes. Varkari tradition has been part of Hindu culture in Maharashtra since 13th century, when it is formed as a Panth community of people with shared spiritual beliefs and practices during the Bhakti movement. This was a Bhakti movement. Varkari Sampradaya, religious movement under Vaishnava Hinduism, Bhakti spiritual tradition, geographically linked with Maharashtra in India and northern Karnataka. Sons of Varkari Sampradaya, spiritual guru of Varkaris, Jnaneshwar was a Brahmin who didn't patronize his cause. Other sons were Tukaram farmer, Namdev tailor, son Narhari Sonar goldsmith, son Sartoba gardener, son Gora a potter, son Chokha Mela a Dalit man, and many more. Rising above caste and religion, Maharashtra's 800-year-old Pandharpur Wari. According to one theory, Vitthal Pant, the father of the Varkari son Jnaneshwar, began the Wari to visit Pandharpur in the Hindu month of Ashar and Kartik. Since then, the tradition of performing a Wari is generally regarded to have existed. Varkari movement in Maharashtra, when such an annual pilgrimage from the Indian state of Maharashtra is the Varkari pilgrimage. This pilgrimage is held every year on the occasion of Ashari Ekadashi and Kartiki Ekadashi, a holy day of Maharashtra. Lakhs of devotees gather in Pandharpur, a small town in Maharashtra, to worship the deity Vithoba. The Pandharpur was the center of the Sant movement. Vitthal was the object of the Sant worship. On the banks of river Chandrabhaga at Pandharpur, the Sant and pilgrimage used to rejoice in their devotion, singing and dancing. The Mahanubhav Panth and the Varkari movement emerged in the Yadav period. Namdev was the founder of Varkari Sampradaya. Following vision of God Vishnu, Namdev turned to a life of devotion and became the foremost exponent of Varkari Panth. The school is known for its expression of bhakti and for its freedom from caste restriction in a religious setting. Namdev wrote number of abhangas. Now I'll talk something about Jnaneshwar. Jnaneshwar, what is the meaning? It is a knowledgeable, one who is knowledgeable and giving wisdom to others. Jnaneshwar is referred to as Jnaneshwar, Jnanadeva, Mauli, or Jnaneshwar Vitthal Kulkarni. He was a 13th century son. Parents were Vitthal Pant, father, Rukmani Bai, mother. Vitthal Pant and Rukmani Bai, they jumped in Indrayani river. That is also a different katha for that. It will take time. So I will not talk about that. So they left 4 children. They were very small. Guru Nivritti Nath was the elder brother who took care of all the children. What is he famous for? Jnaneshwar. According to B.P. Bhairaj, Jnaneshwar was the first known poet, philosopher, yogi who wrote in Marathi language, and he was a Panth of Nath and Varkari tradition. At the age of 16, he composed Jnaneshwari in the year 1290, a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, which later became a fundamental text of the Varkari section. And he was born on auspicious days in a Deshastha family, Deshastha Brahman family, on Krishna Janma, on Janmashtami. He took Samadhi at a very young, tender age of 21 at Alandi underground chamber. It was to inspire people to contemplate the profound truth of death. He blissfully chose such an end for his mortal body so that his death would become lesson of the supreme life beyond death. People live with the fear of death, and it is painful for them to even think about death. So he took Samadhi at a very young age. A beautiful temple has been built at Indrayani, at the banks of Indrayani river, and over the Samadhi, and there are teachings of Jnaneshwar. What was the philosophy? He forbade people from sensual pleasures and drinking, lavishing lifestyle, and discouraged people and people were encouraged to lead a simple life, and the main object of life was to attain God. He was a leading Marathi sant, poet and yogi who led the Bhakti movement in Maharashtra. Now, what was the contribution in Bhakti movement? A holy spiritual revival in medieval India that emphasized personal devotion to God Krishna. Sant Jnaneshwar poetry is considered some of the most important in Marathi literature, and his influence continues to be felt in modern Indian society. Now, Pasayadan, what is Pasayadan? Which means a gift of divine grace, is that title given to the last 9 verses of the commentary on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, written by the 13th century poet son, Jnaneshwar. Now, I'll tell few of the Jnaneshwar Sadvicharat. He emphasized on what is the difference between Bhagavad Gita and Jnaneshwari. Unlike Gita, which has fixed number of syllables in its verses and which do not rhyme, Jnaneshwari commentary on Gita has a variable number of syllables per line, of which first 3 or 4 do rhyme. Each line in Jnaneshwari typically has between 3 and 13 syllables. Why should we read Jnaneshwari? It is an amalgamation of Vedas, which expound the ways of karma, wisdom, devotion, and yoga for attaining the ultimate purpose of human life, self-realization. Sant Jnaneshwar's life served as a cause for upliftment of human values for many generations. He emphasized on yoga and bhakti towards Vithoba. His teaching, माझा जन्म कुठे व्हावा, कोणत्या जाती जन्मात व्हावा, आई वडील कसे असावे हे माझ्या हातात नाही. त्यामुळे त्याबद्दल तक्रार करत बसण्याऐवजी निसर्गाने मला दिलेला क्षमताचा सकारात्मक वापर करून माझे जीवन नक्कीच सुखी करू शकतो. He said, where I am born, which family I am born, and who are my father and mother, that is not in my hand. But according to atmosphere, I can take the sakaratmik vishay vichar and do and make my life happy and good. सगळ्यांनाच सगळी सुख मिळणार नाही हा निसर्गाचा नियम आहे. त्यामुळे माझ्या आयुष्यात देखील काही दुःख असणार. ती दुःख कोणती असावी हे देखील ठरवण्याचा माझा अधिकार नाही. त्यामुळे माझ्या दुःखाचे भांडण न करता मी त्या दुःखाचे निराकरण करण्यासाठी सकारात्मक प्रयत्न करत राहील. Again he says that dukha is not in my hand, and when it will come I don't know, and it's better to forget about that and think about good vishay and sakaratmak vichar and try to do that. न प्रयत्न न करता सहजपणे मिळाली अशी कोणतीही वस्तू या भूतावर अस्तित्व नाही. When you don't do any prayatna or try, then you cannot get anything on this earth. कधीतरी मला कोणत्या तरी प्रकारचे दुःख मिळणार आहे याची जाणीव ठेवून मी माझ्या आसपासच्या माणसाची जमेल तरी मदत केली पाहिजे. He said, at any time I might get dukha from anywhere. So it is better not to think about that. And whoever are nearby people who need help, you should help them. So these are the sundar vichar, he said. स्वतःसाठी मागितली जाते भीक. When you take something, for yourself, that is a भीक. परिवारासाठी भीक is like, भिखारी, you give भीक. परिवारासाठी मागली जाते भिक्षा. When you for your family ask something, that is भिक्षा. समाजासाठी मागितले जाते दान. And when for your samaj, your community, you are, that is a दान. विश्वासाठी मागली जाते ते पासायदन. पासायदन I already explained to you. धन मिळवणे खूप सोपं आहे, पण मन मिळवणं खूप कठीण आहे. You can easily get money, but to get chitta is very difficult. Now this is the last one I am talking about Jnaneshwar. Bhuka bahi samadhi var. This is Jnaneshwar samadhi. It is said, कर्पूर लावी सनिधि समोर देवा सुगंध दियाया ज्ञाना प्रकाशा तमासी ना थार श्री फला सुमने तुलसी दल दक्षिणा मग अर्पुनी अंतरंग मंग प्रार्थित दर्शना नित्य देई मला शुचि भावना. Now this is say over samadhi of Jnaneshwar. Now I move to Sant Tukaram. Sant Tukaram, he was a sant of Varkari Sampradaya. He venerates the god Vitthal in Maharashtra. He was a part of egalitarian 7th century Marathi sant, Hindu sant, popularly known as Tubha, Tukobharaya. Personal Varkari devotionalism tradition. Sant Tukaram Maharaj is best known for his devotional poetry called Abhanga and community-oriented worship with spiritual songs known as Kirtan. Born in 1598 or 1608, nobody knows properly, in Dehu, Pune, and died either 1649 or 1650 in Dehu, Pune. Religion was Hinduism, known for social reforms. Reformer, Sant of Bhakti movement. Other name was, as I told you, Tukoba or Tukobaraya. He was born to Kanakai and Golaba More. Scholars consider his family to belong to Kumbhi caste. Tukaram family owned a retailing and money lending business as well as were engaged in agriculture and trade. His parents, they were devotees of Vithoba. Both his parents died at a very tender age of Tukoba. His first wife was Rakhamabai and had a son named Santu. However, both his son and wife starved to death in the famine of 1630 to 1632. The deaths and widespread poverty had a profound effect on Tukaram, who became contemplative, meditating on the hills of Sayadri range, and later wrote here discussion with his own self. Tukaram married again, and his second wife was Avalai Jijabai. He spent most of the later years in devotional worship, community kirtan making all people come together and singing, dancing, and composing amongst poetry. Tukaram pointed the evil of wrongdoings of society, social system, and Maharajas. By his kirtan abang, he faced opposition in the society. Because of this, a man named Ambaji harassed him a lot. He was running a mutt in Dehu and had followers. Initially, Tukaram gave him the job of doing puja at his temple, but he was jealous of Tukaram by seeing Tukaram getting respect among the village people. He once hit Tukaram by thorn stick. He used foul language against Tukaram, but later Mambaji also became an admirer of Tukaram. He became his student. Tukaram disappeared in 1649 or 1650. According to some scholars, Tukaram made Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj a leader who founded Maratha Empire. Ibn Zillat said that Bhakti movement, including Tukaram, were influential in Shivaji's rise to power. Now, in his work of Abhang, Tukaram repeatedly referred to 4 other persons who had a primary influence on his spiritual development, namely the earlier Bhakti movement by Jnaneshwar, Namdev, Kabir, and Eknath. Early in 20th century, scholars on Tukaram considered his teaching to be Vedanta-based, but lacking a systematic theme. According to him, God realizes himself in the devotion of his worshipper. Likewise, faith is essential to their realization of him. It is our faith that makes there a God. He says boldly to Vithoba. Tukaram Abhang, 2877, translated by Sri Gurudev Ranade of Nimbal State. For example, The Vedanta has said that the whole universe is filled with God. All science have proclaimed that God has filled the whole world. The Puranas have unmistakably taught the universal immanence of God. The saints have told us that the world is filled by God. Tukaram indeed is playing in the world, uncontaminated by like the sun. The scholars note the often controversy among Marathi people whether Tukaram subscribed to the monastic Vedanta philosophy of Adi Shankaracharya. It is like salt which is dissolved in water. The water remains, the salt is not seen. Have thus become one in joy with thy, said Tukaram, and hence lost myself in thy. Tukaram says, thou and I are one light. So Kirtan, Tukaram encouraged Kirtan as a music-imbued, community-oriented group singing and dancing form of bhakti. He considered Kirtan not just a means of learning bhakti, but bhakti itself. The greatest merit in Kirtan, according to Tukaram, is it being not only a spiritual path for the devotion, it helps create a spiritual path for everybody who are surrounded. One minute, huh? Now Tukaram says, तुझवन माझ्या कोण नाही देवा सुंदर ते ध्यान आनंदाचे जोही आनंद तरंग खेल मांड्याला वलवंती दाई बेरी लागी जीवा लागलीस आस जेथे जातो तेथे तू माझ्या सांगती वृक्षवाली आम्हा सोयरी बुराता आवारी माझा सावर सुंदर रूप मनोहर आता कोठे द्यावे मन अखंड जया तुझी प्रीती मजदे त्याती संगती मगमी कमलापती तुझभा नानी काळला तुका म्हणे या बोला चित्त द्यावे वा विठ्ठला ना पाहिजे केला आता माझ्या आहेर पंचभूतांचे गोंधळ केला एका ठाई मे लाविला सबर अहंकार त्या पाठी तेथे काय मी ते माझे कोण वागवी हे ओझे देहा कहीं रिजे हे कालाचे बातुके. He said that our body is of Panchabhuta and why should we have ahankar? And why should we take any bhoja over us? This is like our body is like a Kathputli. जन्माचे मूळ पाहिले शोधून दुखासी कारण जन्म द्यावा पाप पर करुणी जन्मा येतो प्राणी नरदेही येऊनी हानी केली रजतमसत्व आहे ज्याचे अंगी याचे गुणे जगी वाया गेला तम म्हणजे काय नरक केवल रजतो सुबल माया जाळ तुका म्हणे येथे सत्वाचे सामर्थ्य करावा परमार्थ अहर्निशी. मानव जन्म का मूल कारण खोजने पर पता चला कि दुख भोगने के लिए ही यह जन्म हुआ है. पूर्व जन्मों में अर्जित पाप पुण्य रूपी कर्म फल को भोग कर मुक्त होने के लिए ही यह जन्म होता है. लेकिन मानव ऐसा मूल्यवान नर देह पाकर भी बजाय मुक्त होने के और अधिक बंधन में फंसकर अपनी हानि ही करता है. इस विपरीतता का मुख्य कारण रजस व तमस गुण है. इन्हीं गुणों के कारण जन्म व्यर्थ चला जाता है. तमोगुण नरक के समान दुख व कष्ट देता है तथा रजोगुण प्रबल माया जाल में फंसाता है. तुकाराम महाराज कहते हैं कि केवल सत्व गुण में ही यह सामर्थ्य है कि वह मनुष्य को सतत परमात्मा की तरह अग्रे ले जाता है. और उसका भजन में हमेशा होता था जय जय राम कृष्ण हरि जय जय राम कृष्ण हरि जय जय राम कृष्ण हरि. और ये वारकरी संप्रदाय वो बहुत माइल्स चलते रहते हैं पंढरपुर पहुंचने के लिए और विठ्ठल 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 गाते जाते हैं. there is a research over this word, Vitthal. Vitthal actually means Bhagwan Vishnu, Bhagyadata. But that Vitthal has an effect. It creates some waves in the body, which with the circulation of the heart increases. That is the research they have done in scientific way. They have shown that those Varkari people who walk for miles together and at the end, except their pain in legs or something, but their body, yeah, everything is very healthy, even at the end of such a walk. Now, I will say one shloka which is very dear to me. येयो विठले माझे माऊलिये माझे माऊलिये निरावरी कर ठेवणी वाट मी पाहे आल्या गेल्या हाती दारी निरोप पंढरपुरी आहे माझ्या माय बाप येयो विठले माझे माऊलिये माझे माऊलिये पिवळा पितांबर कैसा गगनी जरकला उडाळवरी बसून माझ्या केवारी आला येयो विठ्ठले माझे माऊलिये विठोबाचे राज आम्हा नित्य दीपाली विठोबाचे राजा आम्हा नित्य दीपाली विष्णुदास नामा जीवे बावे ओवारी येयो विठ्ठले माझे माऊलिये निरावरी कर ठेवणी वाट मी पाहे. The meaning of this song is, O Vithala, you are my Bap. Come to my house, come to me. And when you are there, we have all the time happiness and we have Deepavali. And I'm sending you messages with everybody to you. Please accept my messages and come to me. Now there is one Gondlekar Maharaj. In his ashram, 24 hours, 12 months, there's a jap goes on. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Now this jap has also a tremendous effect over the mind and body. With all this, I will give Vishram to my Vani, Guruvarya and Sarvebhya. Please, Khamyatam, Bahava, Tritya Santi, and Dhanyavada everybody, Dhanyavada Guruvarya.
बहुत बढ़िया,
धन्यवाद.
बहुत भक्तिपूर्ण आपने.
बहुत सुंदर मस्ति भगिनी.
धन्यवाद रघुराम महोदय.
धन्यवादः.
धन्यवाद.
बहुत सुंदरम् आसीत् भगिनी.
धन्यवादः सर्वेभ्यः.
धन्यवाद भगिनी.
धन्यवादः अनुराधा.
हमेशा की तरह कमल भगिनी बहुत, it was very, I mean I can't express, it was, I mean I was glued to the system. I mean I wanted to listen to every word of what you were talking.
Thank you.
It was very nice, Bhagini, Kamal Bhagini.
Actually,
thank you.
I liked it very much.
It was reminding on Sant Tukaram and all that also. And these names we heard as kids and we watched those movies in DD National, if I remember. Very nice. Nicely done.
कमल भगिनी, बहुत ही उत्तम रीत्या आपने सब संतों के बारे में बताया. बहुत अच्छा लगा. वो जो अभंग भी बीच में आपने गाए वो भी बहुत सुंदर थे. बहुत उत्तम. धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद. धन्यवाद.
कमलताई खूप छान, अगदी स्निग्ध आणि भक्तिरसपूर्ण असं झालं. खूप छान.
धन्यवाद एव्हरीबडी. धन्यवाद सर्वेभ्यः.
अस्तु, उत्तम. देखिए भगवान के नाम का जो स्वाद है, भगवान की कथा या भक्तों की कथा का जो स्वाद है, वो वर्णन के द्वारा तो आता ही है, साथ ही साथ श्रवण के द्वारा उसका स्वाद कहीं ज्यादा आता है। वर्णन में क्या होता है, मन के बाद वागेंद्रिय का और कर्मेंद्रिय का संयोग हो जाता है। लेकिन जब श्रवण करते हैं ना, तो श्रवण में मन के साथ कान का संयोग रहता है। इसलिए वर्णन की अपेक्षा श्रवण करने वालों को ज्यादा ज्ञात रहता है कि कितनी बात हम समझ पाए, कितनी नहीं समझ पाए। देखिए, यदि कहीं कहीं पर कोई जटिलता भी आ जाती है, भाषा की जटिलता हो जाती है, समझ की जटिलता हो जाती है, समझ में नहीं आती है, तो कुछ ही बातें भी कहीं समझ में आ गई जो हम नहीं समझे, उसको जब बार बार श्रवण करेंगे, लगातार उसमें लगे रहेंगे, तो वह एक बार, दो बार, तीन बार, चार बार, तो क्या होता है, उससे समझ ही बढ़ती है। तो ये विचार कभी नहीं रखना चाहिए कि जितना हम समझते हैं उतना ही हमको सुनने को मिले। इसीलिए तो इस कक्षा का प्रयोजन यही है कि जो जो हमने नहीं सुना है वो हमको सुनने को मिले। धारणा यही होनी चाहिए। तो इसलिए सत्संग में जब कभी भी रहते हैं तो भगवान और भक्तों के विषय में श्रवण करना चाहिए। यदि आज समझ में नहीं भी आता है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है। मान लीजिए किसी की समझ में नहीं भी आती है कोई बात, तब भी श्रवण में लगे रहना चाहिए। और उसी का परिणाम यह है कि हम लोग निरंतर इस कक्षा को आगे बढ़ाते जा रहे हैं। सब आप लोगों का सहयोग है। श्रवण का जो आनंद है वो सब ले रहे हैं इस दौरान। देखिए, एक महात्मा की कथा हमने पढ़ी थी, तो उसमें उन्होंने अपने एक शिष्य को कहा था कि भाई देखो, कि तुम जब भी भिक्षा मांगने जाओगे किसी घर में, तो कहीं भिक्षा मिलेगी और कहीं भिक्षा नहीं भी मिलेगी। कहीं सम्मान मिलेगा कि महात्मा आए हैं, हाँ ब्रह्मचारी जी आए हैं, ऐसा करके, और कहीं कहीं पर ये भिखमंगे आ गए, ऐसा करके भगा भी दिए जाओगे, तो वहां पर अपमान भी होगा। लेकिन इसके कारण अपने शिष्य को कह रहे हैं कि तुम भिक्षा मांगना बंद मत कर देना, बल्कि काम ये करना कि जहाँ तिरस्कार मिलता है ना, वहां अवश्य जाना। वो एक दिन मना करेगा, दो दिन मना करेगा, तीन दिन मना करेगा, अंत में एक दिन उसको भिक्षा देनी ही पड़ेगी। तो इसी तरह से जब शास्त्र में या कथा प्रसंग में हम देखते हैं, श्रवण करते हैं अथवा पढ़ते हैं, तो हमको भी शास्त्रों के पास, कथा के पास एक आग्रह लेकर के जाना चाहिए। एक दिन वह आज अर्थ समझ में नहीं आया, आज अर्थ नहीं दिया, कहीं कहीं पर गीता प्रसंग में भी देखा कि ये अध्याय थोड़ा सा क्लिष्ट लगा, अच्छे से वो समझ में नहीं आया, ऐसी बात आती है, प्राय हो जाता है। तो हमारी बुद्धि एक दिन अर्थ ना दे, लेकिन हमारी बुद्धि का तिरस्कार कर दे, तो दूसरे दिन फिर उसको करें, तीसरे दिन फिर उस पर लगे रहे। तो शास्त्र और भगवान और भक्त लोग तो बड़े दयालु होते हैं ना, तो इसको डरना नहीं है बिल्कुल भी कि ये हमारी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। यदि हमारी समझ में नहीं आती तो किसी की समझ में तो आई है ना, किसी न किसी की समझ में आई है, फिर हमारी समझ में भी आ सकती है, आएगी। अच्छा, वेद के जो मंत्र हैं उनको भी ऋषियों ने दृश्य के रूप में देखा है। वह भी चित्त की ही कोई अवस्था होगी जिसमें उन्होंने मंत्रों को देखा था। तो यदि हम भी अपनी चित्त वृत्ति को वैसी बनाए तो दृष्टा होकर के मंत्रों को भी देख सकते हैं। उसके पहले वृत्ति का जो है वो निर्वासन होना चाहिए। तो निर्वासन वृत्ति के द्वारा यदि हम उस अवस्था में पहुंच जाते हैं जहां से ऋषि लोग मंत्र देखा करते थे, तो हम भी उसका अनुभव कर सकते हैं। क्या वे दूसरे दृष्टा थे और हम दूसरे दृष्टा हो गए? दृष्टा तो एक ही होता है ना, चाहे ऋषि मुनियों का हो अथवा हमारा हो। तो चित्त की वृत्ति में तारतम्य होता है, और यदि वह वासना रहित हो जाए तो हम भी वेद मंत्रों का दर्शन कर सकते हैं। तो इसलिए कदाचित भी कोई बात समझ में ना आए तो निराश होने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। शास्त्रों में भी बढ़िया बढ़िया बातें कही गई है सत्संग के विषय में। सत्संग में क्या होता है, जैसे नदियां बह रही हो। अच्छा, नदी भी कौन सी है? तो भगवान और भक्तों के चरित्र रूप अमृत की नदी। वहां संसार की कथा नहीं है, किसी राजा महाराजा की कथा नहीं है, भोग की कथा नहीं है कि कितना धन कमाए कैसे कमाए, इसकी कथा नहीं है। वहां तो भगवान और भक्तों की कथा है। तो आज का जो वर्णन कमल भगिनी ने किया बड़ा ही भावपूर्ण था। वो कहती है कि मैं समझ में नहीं आया होगा, ऐसा नहीं है। आपने बहुत अच्छा वर्णन किया, बहुत अच्छा